Welcome to Legally Ponzanelli, a podcast dedicated to the real stories behind the legal profession. I'm your host, Stephanie Ponzanelli, a law graduate from the University of Arkansas School of Law. Each week, we will hear from law graduates who share candid conversations, practical advice, and real experiences that show you just how different everyone's journey into the legal profession can be. This episode is sponsored by Belmonte, a skincare and lifestyle brand centered around the reminder to slow down, stay grounded, and be present in the moments that matter most. We also want to thank Kaplan Bar Prep for giving us the opportunity to give away 3 free bar prep courses. If you or someone you know is planning to use Kaplan as their bar prep course, make sure to use our code PASSWITHPONS to save an additional $100 off your course. A special thank you as well to Las Comadres Mail Club for sponsoring this month's guest gifts. Las Comadres Mail Club is a monthly Happy Mail subscription that celebrates Latina pop culture, nostalgia, and creativity. Every envelope feels like an extra cartita from your favorite comadre, filled with stickers, art, and thoughtful surprises. All right, let's dive right in. Can you introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about yourself?
So my name's Abigail. I'm from Chicago. I went to Chicago Kent, and I just graduated law school and passed the bar.
Congrats! Where did you go to undergrad and where did you go to law school?
I went to Kalamazoo College. I studied anthropology and history. It's a double major. And then I went to law school at Chicago Kent.
Awesome. And did you take the bar right after law school? Did you take a minute? What was that journey like?
So I took the bar right after law school. It was a little wonky, so I ended up graduating a semester after most of my cohort. Um,
hmm
it was kind of weird because I took the February bar, but it was the first time I took it.
Oh, and how did you feel? What was your journey like? Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, it was weird. The bar journey or law school? Because both were
Both.
weird. But yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about both. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can start with law school. I went to
Okay.
Chicago Kent for, I mean, a lot of reasons. It was close to home. Um,
hmm
it's funny. I think one of my parents' really good friends is a professor there, and
Oh, cool.
I didn't realize this. We don't have any lawyers in my family. I just knew her as like Carolyn. And then
hmm
they were like, when I started to apply to law school, they were like, "Oh, you need to call her." And I like actually looked her up as more than just like someone I loved as a family friend. And it turns out she's like a big con law scholar and amazing. Um,
That's so funny. You were like, you
yeah,
go here?
yeah, exactly. What are you doing here? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so I talked to her and she was like, you need to apply to Kent. It's a great school. And then I toured it and it was amazing. It was
Yeah.
just had the kind of attitude I wanted. Um,
Yeah.
so not, it's competitive in some ways, but it just wasn't the
hmm
same, like kind of cutthroat. The school itself like produces really good students with lots of great prospects, but like the attitude is really different. Like it's much more collaborative. There's a
hmm
lot less of that like infighting stuff that I found so distasteful
hmm
talking to people from other schools. So yeah, and like they offered scholarships that were really cool. So I ended up going to Kent. Uh, I actually got a concussion in my second semester.
Oh my
Um,
God.
yeah, and, like,
What?
graduation, it's it's kind of a funny story, we can talk about it if you want.
Yeah, yeah. What happened?
Okay, so I was late for legal writing,
Uh-huh.
and I, was running for the bus, and where I got my bus at the time, there was, like, a big curb, and it was, like, basically I cut through, like, the zoo,
Uh-huh.
and so I ran through, and I used to carry because I had this, like, whole thing where I was like, "I'm not gonna carry a backpack like I'm an adult." So I would carry my laptop in a purse, like like, kinda saddlebag thing,
Yeah.
and I was running, I tripped. I was a gymnast for a really long time, so my brain, like, automatically goes, "I know how to do this," and I just kinda, like, roll flipped out of it, which re
Oh, did it look cool?
Oh, I bet. It would have been amazing if, my laptop didn't swing around afterwards and smack me in the forehead.
No.
Yeah,
Oh my
and I just,
God.
like it knocked me out. I had, like, 4 stitches in my forehead, and then I,
Oh
like
my God.
it was so bad, and I, like, went to the dean of students and was like, clearly concussed, and was like, "I can take the finals. He was just like, "No, girl, you cannot."
No.
Uh, so
That's
I ended up, yeah,
crazy.
deferring to like, it's at my school, at least it's called, like, withdrawing for cause. So I just, like, with
Okay.
semester at the, like, last 2 weeks, and then
Uh-huh.
the second semester again in my 2L, which is a little weird. So I did, like, the
Did
first
you have
year.
to retake the classes and everything
Yeah,
again?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Granted,
Okay.
courtesy of the concussion, I didn't remember most of them anyway.
Oh,
So,
oh
a
no.
lot of it was new, even though it shouldn't have been. It was really bad.
That's so bad. At
Yeah,
least you didn't remember sitting through it over and over. I mean, that's probably
I
not great, but like
I know, but in theory, I sat through property twice. I still don't understand half
yeah.
of it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. That is so wild. Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah.
That's so traumatic.
I know. I was just like, and people were laughing. They're like, "You would get like a traumatic brain injury." It's like,
Yeah.
no, no one look at me.
No.
Like, yeah.
Did the bus stop or did it like keep
Okay,
like
that's
how did yeah, like how did that
okay.
happen?
Yes and no. So again, like
Oh.
I like clapped out for a second, stood up. I'm like, again, convinced I'm fine. Like hurts a little bit. I can feel the blood coming over my eye and like down my cheek. And the bus driver looks at me, makes eye contact, and closes the doors. And she's like, I'm not going anywhere near whatever the heck that was.
That's
And just
crazy.
drove. And like some lady walking her dog ran up, and I was just like, I just need to call my mom. Like,
Oh, that is so sad. I can't believe the bus driver was like, "Yeah, no, thanks.
no, no.
I got enough."
No, I'm in Chicago. She's probably had enough, like, chaos on her bus. She's like, "I don't need this bloody girl getting on." Like,
I guess that would be, like, not ideal to watch you get on and it
right?
get worse.
This
I
poor
didn't
lady,
think of that.
yeah, she's like, "This is a I'm not picking up any more people who need stitches today." Like,
Yeah. I'm at my max.
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad your dean was very like, "No, don't take it. Like, please just go take care of yourself."
Thank goodness, because I look at some of the emails
Yeah.
I sent at that time, and it's, like, the same sentence 3 times. And, like, it's like, holy smokes, I was fully convinced I was fine. And, like,
What?
in retrospect, it's like, "Whoa, that was actually quite bad." Like, it only took a week for me to kinda get my senses fully, but,
Mhm.
like, a lot of, like it was weird. Like, I had horrible headaches for a couple months. Like, there was a good 3 months of just, like, weird concussion recovery.
Could you
Um
sue the laptop company?
I'm
You know?
pretty sure that's not the proper use of a laptop.
Yeah. Okay, dang it. I was like, maybe, you know?
Yeah, right? Maybe the city for their terrible curves,
Yeah.
curves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either one, whichever one sticks.
Once again, the question is like, could you predict that I was gonna flip? No.
That's so cool that your body immediately was like, "Oh, let's go, like,
I was just
back
like,
to
"Oh, girl, you know what
gymnastics."
to do. Try flipping." Like, yeah,
Mine would just be faceplant.
yeah.
I can't flip, I never learned.
You probably would've been better off than me. Meanwhile, I, like, got a Harry it's not so bad now, but, like, I had a
Mhm,
good Harry Potter scar for a minute, like,
mhm.
yeah.
Oh, dang, now you can't yeah, I can't see it at all.
Wow. Oh, good.
I've been called, you know? That's
Yeah,
so funny. So you were able to still, like, finish, it just took a 1 semester extra, which was a cheaper. So
yeah,
did you graduate in December?
yeah, um,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
How was that graduation? Is
Okay,
it
so
small?
I'm just gonna walk in June. And it was kind of
Oh,
cool
cool.
because I made so many friends in my second semester, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it was yeah,
Yeah.
that, like, it's kind of beautiful because like, they're the people I'm closest to in law school, from law
Oh,
school. So, like, I get to walk with them even though I'm technically already, graduated and, yeah, will be a lawyer by then.
and yeah, you
I
passed the
know.
bar.
So
Amazing.
cool.
Congrats. That's so
Yeah.
huge. When
Oh,
you sent me that, I was so like, I got goosebumps. I was like, "Yes, I love it. I'm so
aw.
happy for you."
Well, I've
How
told
did so
my whole family how amazing your, like, podcasts or, your lives were and how
Uh-huh.
supportive they were, and, like, I passed, and within, like, 5 minutes, my parents were like, "Did you tell Stephanie?"
That's
"Oh,
so
you're right.
sweet.
I have to message her now."
Yeah. I got so happy. I was like, "Yay!" I'm glad that, like, people are doing well and it's going well, and
Oh,
tell me
Steph,
about
I love
finding out.
it.
I wanna know what that was like, 'cause I realized, like, everyone finding out whether or not they passed is completely different as well, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yes,
So, like, did
okay.
you get an email? Tell me everything. Yes.
Alright. So it's kinda wonky because 'cause I'm working now in, like,
Uh-huh.
what the Illinois so the Illinois Supreme Court lets you, like, as a bar taker, do
Uh-huh.
certain work, like government work, or nonprofit
Oh,
work,
okay.
like, essentially as a lawyer with a supervisor. Um,
Mhm.
so I was at work, and I was literally prepping someone for a trial that morning, um,
Mhm.
and, like, we're talking, and I knew so in Illinois, everybody gets an individual email.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and it's like it doesn't tell you the breakdown, it just says, like, what you got on your MBE, what you got in
Mhm.
your MEE portion or
Mhm.
MEE/MPT, so written portion,
Mhm.
and, like, what the total score is, whether or not you can be barred in Illinois.
Mhm.
And we knew, like, from Reddit that probably the emails were coming out that morning.
Yeah.
So me and my one other friend who's a bar taker at work
Uh-huh.
were, like, both every 10 seconds checking our phones, and
Mhm.
then I go down to where we do our trials, in court, and I'm prepping my witnesses for trial, and my first chair at in tri runs out, and she goes, "Abby, check your email right now." And I was just like, "I don't wanna do this in front of the whole world." And so I look at my witness, and I was like, "I'm so sorry, sir. I need to open my email and cry." And he's, "What?" And I was like, "I don't want to do that in front of you. All due respect, I have to leave." And he's like, "Okay,
It's probably
bye,
like,
girl."
"Okay."
And I, like, ran to the bathroom at work, open it
Uh-huh.
up, it was good news. Uh, yeah,
Yay!
and
What
then
is the passing score in
I
Illinois?
it is 266.
Oh,
Uh,
sweet. Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
Yes.
and
Yay!
I passed with enough to get to practice in any jurisdiction, which is cool. Uh,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome.
and I have, like, a whole bunch of awesome if you're up for it, I wanna tell you, like,
Yeah.
some other programs I used because they were amazing.
Yes. Tell me
Uh
everything. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but, it was just like I literally skipped back into court, which is not professional, don't give a
It's okay.
care.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Um,
literally.
and I, like, turned my witness, I was like, "I'm gonna be an attorney," and then, like, ran into court and was like, "Hey, hey, I passed," and then I left, came back in, and I guess my first chair had told the judge, because as I walked in, the judge goes, "And Miss Fraser passed the bar," and then just starts clapping.
Yay! I would be crying. I'd be like,
I
"Stop,
literally was,
please."
like, weeping.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Tell me what you use. Tell me what your study schedule is like. Let us know
okay.
everything.
Yes, so I did Themis for most of it. I got
Mhm.
about 68% and then was like, "I can't." I really liked Themis at the beginning, but
Mhm.
I started to kind of, like, realize right around when they get to, like maybe it was what I hated, not hated about Themis, just hated about law in general,
Yeah.
like, when we start to get to biz orgs and stuff, where, like, the lectures were good, but my brain just wasn't doing it.
Mhm.
Um, and I did this weird thing where, like, I can't just sit and listen to lectures.
Mhm.
I'm not that kind of person, so I would drive around with them playing and then pause and it was a conversation. So if I'd done it in a coffee shop or something, I would have looked psychotic.
Yeah.
I would pause and be like, "So what you're saying is that the Fourth Amendment," and, like,
Make it
"No
dramatic.
way, that's
That's
insane."
crazy.
"Suppression? That's warranted?" And then I would hit play again, and, like, that's the only way I could remember. It's like if it felt like I
Yeah.
was talking to someone.
Yeah.
And then I have to give, like, the biggest shout out to Goat Bar Prep. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard about it. Yeah. Tell me
okay.
about it.
It's amazing.
Uh-huh.
So it's like bar prep designed for millennials and Gen Xers. Um,
Mhm.
so it's, like, almost like Tumblr meets Themis.
That
Like,
is
you go
so
through it's
funny. Yeah.
funny, there's a million memes. It's, like, mostly the MBE subjects,
Uh-huh.
and the modules are just it's amazing.
Uh-huh.
And you, like, can s like, it what it focuses on is, like, understanding why, which when you're doing
I
bar
like
prep, you're
that.
like yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, "I don't care why," at the beginning, right? You're like, "I just need to memorize stuff," right?
Yeah.
And then the nice thing about GOAT is that, like, actually it mattered because when you get to, like, an MBE and you're like, "I don't know," you just remember why. And then
Yeah.
it like you can kind of translate into like, oh, well, what would be the most just thing? And then like
Mhm.
what would goat say?
Yeah.
And then there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
That's so
Uh,
awesome. So I
yeah.
love that you did your 68%. You're like, I'm ready to find something that is a little
Yeah.
bit more helpful and then pivot over. I love that. I
Yeah.
love it.
You know, the other thing I did, and this is kinda
Mhm.
like I don't know that I would recommend it for everybody because it's
Mhm.
kinda wonky, like, you have to be really careful with it, but I
Mhm.
created my own outlines, like, really detailed, and then
Mhm.
uploaded them into ChatGPT,
Mhm.
and was like, "Literally only what I wrote, I want you to quiz me on it." And I would,
Mhm.
like, uh I would say like, "Okay, go. Start with whatever, just quiz me." And it would say like, "Okay, what is personal jurisdiction?" And then I would
Mhm.
record, "Okay, personal jurisdiction is," and then I would say it.
Mhm.
And then it would be like, "That's great, except," you know how it talks, like,
Yeah.
"Wow, you're doing a great job. However, you missed the following." And it would just like, and I'd say, "Okay, let me try again." And like, and that was kind of a good
Yeah.
repetition. Um,
Yeah.
I tried critical pass flashcards, and I just, like, while I liked
Yeah.
the idea of them, they were way too dense for me. Like, I know someone who will swear by them,
Yeah.
so
I
and I actually really think a lot of my MBE's luck and, like, skill came from your lives. Like, no
Oh,
joke.
well,
Yeah.
I want to let the listeners know, like, how we met. So if you wanna, like,
Yes.
talk about that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it'd be my pleasure. So we met through your lives on TikTok.
Yeah.
I was like, and okay, this is like it's not I guess it's not embarrassing because it happens to people all the time. I like got
No, yeah.
very lonely during bar prep. Like it was
Yeah.
just me in my room studying all the time, or my car, depending on how they want to seem, all the time.
Yeah.
And like it started to get a little debilitating. And I was like
Mhm.
right around when I was starting to like spin my wheels, which is early in bar prep for what I thought. Like, I expected to kinda burn out because
Mhm.
it's normal, but I always
Yeah.
expected to burn out, like, a couple weeks before the bar, but I'm talking,
Mhm.
like, a couple weeks in, I start
Yeah.
panicking. Like, "Oh my god, I can't do this. I feel alone. I'm failing these, MBE practice tests over and over and over again."
Mhm.
And I just started, like, and so I'm, like, on TikTok to not think about the bar, right? Like going to,
Yeah.
like, anything but, right? And of course, my algorithm was like, "We know you've been on Themis all day, every day." Uh,
We know what you really want.
right, right. It's like, and so I ended up on your live, and of course, I recognized, like, MBE Themis practices. And I was like,
Mhm.
"Okay, fine. If the universe wants me to do a couple more practice problems," and, like, I'm watching it, and you were so encouraging. And also I'm watching the other people get it wrong too, and that's
Yeah.
what, like, lifted my heart was I was like, "Holy moly, I'm not stupid." And, like,
No.
not getting it wrong, but there's, like, a piece of
Yeah.
you that so easily puts it in your brain, like, "Oh my god, I'm
You
looking at
can't
these
get
percent."
this.
Yeah, yeah, or like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is the 5th of this," like, 5th like, what is it? 5th confrontation clause question I've gotten wrong today. Like, I don't understand
Yeah.
it. Stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like and then I was watching other people have the same problems, and I was like, "Wait a minute, I'm in an okay place."
Yeah.
And your voice just kept going, "No, it's okay. Well, if we get it wrong now to get it right next time." And that
Yeah.
really meant so much to me, and so I started coming on, like, almost every single day.
Yeah.
Um, and, like, when
I
you sent
loved
me
it.
it was so wonderful, and yeah, you sent me that card, and it just made me feel like it's just so much less lonely, There's all
Yeah.
these other people in exactly the same spot as me, you
I have
know?
my card right here. I love
Yeah,
it so much.
that makes my
I
heart
I have it on my desk. I was just like, "Ah, this is the
oh,
sweetest thing," and I was so excited. So, I have it here. I was like, "Oh, that is."
that's no, like, literally on my mirror.
I was just saying, like, the community that was built was so beautiful. It was so sweet.
Yeah.
Everyone was so kind.
And, like, yeah, it was so cool that, like, all around the country, it
Yeah.
was all these people doing the exact same thing. It felt really, like, uplifting, and
Yeah.
then yeah, yeah, and, ugh, I loved it. I loved it. So and I'm so excited for everybody who gets to, like, have that from the beginning with you.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that
Yeah.
you're gonna have this you're gonna build something like this long term is just beautiful stuff. I love it.
I'm so
Mm.
excited. Like, I was really, really bummed, and for the listeners who don't know, which I'm sure you'll know by now, uh, I did not pass the bar, but I didn't pass by 11 points, so I'm not mad about it. It's
Oh,
very
that's so
close.
manageable. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Yeah.
that was,
Yeah.
like, 3 to 5 multiple choice, 36% passage rate in Arkansas, and 30 people passed. That's not even a third
Holy
of the people
wait,
I sat with. Yeah,
wait, only 30 people passed?
yeah,
Holy smokes, that's insane.
yeah, and
Oh.
so at first, I was like which I did a live, like, I was like, "I'm gonna record whatever happens, we'll do this." And I was just like, "Whoa." Like, like, I knew the possibility of not passing. Like, I know I'm like, it happens to a lot of people, and it really does, like, a ton.
Mhm.
But I think it just hit different, because I was like,
Yeah.
"Wait, wait, wait. I did everything." You know? I did the
Yeah.
Grossman videos. I did 90% of Themis. I did what is
Mhm.
happening? And then
Yeah.
I was like, Let me take 5 steps back. Let me sit with this." And then I was like, "Everything happens for a reason. I'm gonna bounce back. I'm not the only one. This list is extremely short." And a lot of the people
Mhm.
on the list that I knew that were like that went to my school were people who retook the bar. And I was like, "I'm really happy for them because this is huge." So, like, at the very least, people that did have to sit through this again, they passed, they succeeded. We
Mhm.
got this.
Yeah.
And so it was hard, but it's also like everyone being so nice made it so much better. So I'm like not as sad as I thought I would be?
Oh. Well, it's a testament to your resilience too,
Yeah.
and, like, just your determination as a person. That's absolutely beautiful. That's yeah.
Thanks.
The other thing, and was telling myself this before I opened like, results, was like, "I'm gonna be a lawyer for 30 years. If it takes me an
Hmm.
extra 6 months, it's an extra 6 months," you know? And,
Yeah.
like, if, uh, if I was gonna hire a lawyer, right? I don't you know, whether when you pass doesn't matter to me. If
Hmm.
anything, the fact that you had a setback and then still did it and and still kept going, that's who I want in an attorney, right? Is someone who's
Yeah.
gonna take every setback as just, like, further encouragement to push forward. So, like, if anything, it's a sign of
Yeah.
strength. So,
I appreciate
I
I'm
admire you so much, Steph. That's all.
Thanks. You're so sweet. I like, I'm just everyone's just so sweet and I love it. And I'm like, I don't want anyone to feel embarrassed. And so I'm like opening, I'm like, I failed the bar, like, it's okay.
Well, and,
Just
like, that's so cool of you. That's, like, 'cause it takes a lot to be vulnerable, and, like, I wouldn't say
yeah,
that wasn't true, you know?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
It I wanted to know what inspired you to go to law school? Did you always want to be an attorney?
Okay. So it was kind of in the back of my mind for a minute. Like, I always thought I would make a good attorney.
Hmm.
And not just like that classic, like, "Oh, I'm good at arguing." Like, I always thought that it was a really good way to serve people, and, like,
Hmm.
you have a lot of, the it okay, saying you're a lawyer comes with, like, it's a double-edged sword, right? Like, in
Hmm.
many ways, people have a lot of preconceived notions about what lawyers do and what kind of people they are, but
Hmm.
also, like, be able to say you're a lawyer carries a lot of weight sometimes in some settings.
Hmm.
But before law school, I'm a little bit of an older student. I was a preschool teacher,
Oh,
and
really? So you had a whole life before law
I
school?
had a whole career.
What?
Um,
Okay, tell us
well,
about that. We gotta we
no
gotta
baby
wind
face,
back a little bit.
but yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
know.
everyone's, like, shocked. Like, everyone assumes I'm K through JD, like,
Uh-huh.
kindergarten law degree. It's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, no, I'm in my 30s." Um, but,
That's so
early
funny.
30s, 30s. Um,
You're like, "Early." No,
oh,
you're so funny.
uh, but yeah, so I right out of college, I went to teach, preschool. I was, like, getting
Oh,
an early ed degree, and I loved my kiddos, and I was in a really underserved neighborhood in Chicago,
okay.
um, and so, yeah, it was just, like a really my kiddos were amazing, their families were
Mhm.
amazing, the school itself was amazing, but just the the way that their situation was, like, very heavy,
Mhm.
every time there was construction outside, the kids would get down thinking it was gunshots.
Oh,
And it, like, was this kind of realization because I didn't grow up in a particularly affluent neighborhood, but, like,
yeah.
never once in my childhood did I, like, worry about getting shot through a window, right?
Yeah.
And there were these that really hit heavy on my heart. Um,
Yeah.
or a couple of my students, were in and out of homelessness. Like, there were these
Yeah.
pieces that were like, there's stuff here that so there was that aspect of it.
Mhm.
And also a couple of my kids really needed services like special ed. I
Mhm.
had a 4-year-old who obviously for his privacy, I wouldn't say his name, but
Yeah.
he, wasn't talk came in 4 years old, couldn't talk, not potty trained, which at
Mm.
4 is, and, like, clearly there were other issues, just, like, developmentally, which is it happens totally, and
Yeah.
I knew instantly, like, okay, if you lived in a different neighborhood, if you had better if he single father, again, struggling with housing, and it was, like, in a different world, in a different setting, in the same world, but a different setting, right? You would have
Mhm.
had speech therapists and occupational therapists from basically birth, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so for me, it was like, okay, I'm gonna get you an IEP, which is like an individualized education plan. Um,
Okay.
so I do all this work, and you in the city you have to you like apply for an IEP, and then you build up you like basically like create a file. There's all sorts of
Mhm.
stuff attached to it. That ends up like you have to do all sorts of documentation for a couple months to
Mhm.
show that this is not a one-time thing, that you're not, evaluating this kid in this one interaction. He doesn't know you, of course, he's not going to talk, right? Or like things like
Mhm.
that. So yeah, I work really hard to get into my IP, and so it's kind of a painful story, but it ends happy. Um,
Oh, okay.
so while I'm doing this, I'm implementing all the things I was like learning in school at the same time
Mhm.
about how to help kids with language development and
Yeah.
education. So, we're doing certain games where, and so when he got to school, he could say like dad and car. And by the time these like 4 months pass, he's starting to use the toilet, and he's saying like ball, hat, his like the first letter of his name, his own name, my name. It's like
Mm.
yes, and it's still
Yeah.
nowhere near the language development a average 4-year-old should have. But holy smokes, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And I go in with my binder full of documentation, like, look at how great this kid is doing. Can you imagine how great things would be if he had a speech therapist? And
Yeah.
basically, I was told, and I suspect part of this was that I didn't know how to adequately advocate at the time, but they were like, looks like he's got one. Like, we don't have that many resources. And like, looks like you're doing that. Like, you don't need special ed if he's making this much improvement this fast. Sounds like he just needed a teacher. And my heart just
Oh.
like shattered. And I was just like, "Oh, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to lie? You want me to come in here and say this kid can't do anything and he hasn't done anything in 3 months? Like, I would never say that. His dad's sitting across the
Yeah.
table from me, right? And even if he
Yeah.
wasn't, like, I'm not gonna lie to.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's like, look at, this is beautiful child who, and so that was like the biggest moment where I was like, I wanna do something for people,
Mhm.
and I wanna make a change in the world. It's naive, but it's true, right? And I
No,
was like,
yeah, yeah.
where I am and the way I'm doing it is not the way that it needs, that I feel like I can do that, you know?
Mhm.
And so I finished out that year. Uh, and I was just like, I gotta pivot. I gotta make a change.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, I like started doing studying for the LSATs, that sort of thing. And then I ended up, yeah, in law school at Kent.
How many years did you teach?
So I only taught for 2 years, which sounds like not that much. It isn't that
No,
much.
it's a lot. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Uh,
still.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then, like, plus student teaching and stuff, so there's a little bit, but it
Yeah.
was and I guess actually in theory I taught for more because in between LCATs and that, I was, like, running a preschool program through a gymnastics gym, which is kinda weird, but we did, like, education and gymnastics. So I, like, you could very arguably say I taught for longer, but I don't feel
Yeah.
comfortable saying I taught for longer. I was not in that same
Yeah.
setting. It's not like a teacher one the way yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so, yeah, uh,
That's
and
so
then
cool.
yeah, it was really it's I don't know. I have very such fond feelings for the kids I worked with, and at the
Mhm.
same time, it's like I'm really grateful for where I'm at, and that like it really changed how my
Mhm.
trajectory in a way that I'm really grateful for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That's so great. And
yeah.
what happened with the child? Like, what did he
Oh, yeah.
get more help or
We reapplied, and we actually did it through a different service that, like,
uh,
so what I didn't know and was probably part of why they denied it, but they didn't say it in the meeting, and
mhm,
I wish they had because it would have made me feel a lot better, like, I felt like I'd failed him, was that he'd had some services when he was really little through, like, the
mhm,
hospital he'd been born at or something like that, like, they'd referred him to something called early intervention, which meant that, like, they had to figure out an I I don't understand it. I did at one point,
mhm,
but it's like different funding streams, different programs that do different things. Um, and so they ended up getting him to like an outside instead of doing it through the school I was at, like through a
mhm,
or like through the overarching body that governed the school I was at, they did it
mhm.
through a service that came in, and he ended up getting, basically doing school in the morning and then therapy, like occupational and speech therapy in the afternoons, getting like a special guide that would come with him for a bunch of days, like a
Mhm.
yeah. So
Oh, great. So you were able to help do that. That's
yes,
so
and
awesome.
I was lucky enough that I had, like, an administration at that school that supported me through that, so
Yeah.
I can't take much credit for that, that was really like
Yeah.
a yeah, and his dad was very active in that process, which is really lucky too.
Good. That's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
My co-host and friend Harley, she taught for 5 years before going to law school. Um,
Ooh.
I love it because people come from so many different paths into the legal field,
Yeah.
and it's so interesting to see, like, you found what you wanted to do in a job that you thought was the thing that you wanted to do, which is really
Yeah,
crazy.
100%. I was like, "I figured out my life." Oh, no, wait, just kidding. You know?
Just kidding. Yeah, 1 second. Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah. Do you feel like
Um,
you've had that a little bit too, Steph? Like this, like, you went to law school and now you've, like, become, like, this I don't know if you like the word influencer, but, like, a were you sexual? Is it
so that is so funny. I have, like I talked to my boyfriend and my therapist, and I love them and my family about this, but, like, I always, since I was little, wanted to go to law school. Like, I my friend and I both went up to my mom, and we were like, "Yeah, we know what we're gonna do. We're going to law school. We're gonna be attorneys." Um, and and then I realized I was like, "Oh my gosh, 1, there is not many people that look like me in the legal profession." So, like, less than
Mhm.
2% of every single attorney is a Latina woman, which is so tiny, so tiny. Like, my
Yeah.
class had maybe 5 Hispanic people in it. Like, that's it.
Why and in Arkansas, no
Yeah.
less. That's
Yeah.
why. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's crazy. And so I was like, I want to see more people like me here. And I remember like looking it up. So I'm a first gen. And so for my undergrad, for my master's, for my JD, all of it I had
Mhm.
to navigate that myself. And I remember it being hard and it being like, what do I turn to? This was like
Yeah.
not it wasn't as easy as it is now to, like, Google or TikTok or, to find it when I was
Mhm.
in that process and stuff, and so which makes me feel old because 'cause I'm, like, now I'm like, "Dude, it's everywhere."
Oh, I know,
But
right? Yeah.
and so I was like, "This really sucks, like, if I can find a way to make any of this easier, I wanna do that." So I was like, "I wanna be an attorney, I wanna be able to help people." So I always wanted to do, like, social media. I love it. I think it's so
Yeah.
fun. It's like
Yeah.
my mom is an artist, but I feel like my artistic ability was never, like, drawing, painting, or creating. It's more so, like, my artistic side or that I really enjoy is, like,
Mhm.
the content creating and, like, talking to
Yeah.
people. And so, I actually in law school, I remember I wanna do immigration law, and there is the pink TikTok attorney. I don't know if you know her on
Is
social
it
media and stuff.
Mercedes? The yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I made a video, and it, like, got her attention, and I actually got to work for her for a little bit, and, like, it was
Wait,
really
that's
cool.
too cool. That is way too
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, I love
it
that.
was I'm like, the opportunities are endless, on social media. And like, I want to meet people. I want to like hear people's journeys and share that. And like, if I can make anyone's path to going to law school, taking the bar, any of that easier, I want to do that. So, I, I love this part and I hope that I get to lean into this more. I think in an
Mhm.
ideal world, I would, I definitely want to clerk. Like, I think that would be super fun. I love that. But I think in my ideal world, I would do social media full time, do the podcast full time, find a way to like give people free bar prep, do scholarships, something like that. And
So
then pro bono, like get my student loans out of the way and then do pro bono and do my podcasts and just interview so many people. Like that would be like my ideal. I would love that.
oh, I love
So
that for you. That's
yeah.
awesome.
I think it would be so fun, and, my following is, like, slowly growing, like, I'm technically considered a nano influencer, if you
Mm.
will, which is so funny. I I looked at my boyfriend, I was like, you're kind of with a celebrity."
Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah."
Uh-huh.
He's very
Yeah,
much
well,
like,
you're
"Okay."
close now, but, like, I
Mm,
also think this is such a cool niche, and, like, I wish
yeah,
I had this when I was applying to law schools and, like,
yeah,
when I started studying, you know? Like, this would have
yeah,
been a huge not outlet, like, a huge resource for me that, like, I had no idea
yeah,
what I was doing, you know? I just, like, went to Barnes& and Noble because that's how long ago I started studying, you
yeah,
know? And, like,
yeah,
bought the LSAT book, and that was, like, all I had. You know, I had like, I ran my essays for law school past, like, 3 people who had never done law school, you know? Like, it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
it was fine, things turned out okay, of course, like,
yeah.
but, like, yeah,
It was
it's beautiful that you're doing this stuff. I love
thanks.
it.
I It was so much that, like, looking back now is like, wow, I was really like, anyone who goes to law school, you really are just built different. I feel like you don't have to be built different to go. I don't wanna, like, discourage anyone, but it is a lot of, like, time, energy
Mhm.
on just even, like, undergrad to get prepped for law school or, like, any of
Right?
that? It's so much.
Yeah. It's like an emotional investment and a time investment
Yeah,
and a financial, you know, like, there's every piece
yeah,
and mental, like, every single part of your soul in some capacity is involved, right? I don't wanna say, like, you
yeah,
dedicate every moment, like, no, in fact, if you
no,
do,
yeah,
probably really unhealthy.
yeah,
Um, but, like, you really can't
yeah,
becomes in many ways a part of you without, you know, even if you resist that, which I did in a lot of
yeah.
ways, hence my, like, "I won't even carry a backpack." Um
That is so funny. I
Yeah.
was immediately thinking, like, that's so bad for your shoulder.
Oh, no problem. And law school books are, like, obscene, like, weight-wise, and
Huge.
they're just like, "No, I'm an adult. I don't need" you know, I it's like, I don't know what I was going through my head. Maybe the concussion knocked some sense into me. Um
No, I was literally, like, so mad at my backpack my first year because 'cause I'm like, "Nothing fits," "These
Yeah,
are too big."
I got lucky that my, like, partner had bought me this, like, amazing, really thick backpack after that. He was like, "We're not playing this game anymore." Like
It's like, "No more falling and flipping."
yeah, he's like, "Well, I respect your self-respect. I need you to wear a backpack."
That is so hilarious. At one point, I was like, "Dude, a rolling backpack would be sick."
You know,
But
I had friends who carried them, and I was like, "I can't even judge. I love it."
no, yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
that I'm thinking about it. I never committed, I should have, but I thought about it a lot. And it's expensive. I wanna, like that was another thing, like, I didn't realize until and let me know if it was the same for you, but
Right.
and then going to law school, I got some scholarships and stuff, but I didn't know, like, I would have to rely so heavily on loans, and
Mhm.
that is so scary too, you know?
Well,
I'm
and,
like
like, and you worked too. Like, I also was, like, such a bizarre feeling to be because I worked through college, so I was able to pay off a whole
yeah.
like, I my loans weren't too bad because I had scholarships. And then I, like a little bit crazy, this is why probably law school felt why I liked it. I worked for the facilities, like,
Mhm,
janitorial staff in the mornings, so I
mhm.
would get up early and, like, clean the library, and then go to school, and then I was the secretary in the afternoons. So I was able to
Oh,
pay
wow.
off a lot of college. You can't do that in law school, like, it's just not
No.
or at least I couldn't. I'm sure there
No, no, yeah.
could, but, you
Yeah.
know, I was working and I still, like, couldn't do it. And yeah,
Mm-mm.
like, you there
And the
were
loans are, like, extreme it's really upsetting because it's, like, the interest rate's
yeah.
insane.
Yeah, and there's no it's not like the undergrad loans where you have, like, a lot of like, they're subsidized and the interest rates are low, and it's, you
Mhm.
know yeah, um,
Yeah.
they don't run your credit, like, you know, and that yeah. So,
Yeah.
and, like, unfortunately, I came out of law school without too many loans just 'cause kind
Yay!
yes, I
Yeah.
mean, I got very lucky there. I still have plenty of yeah. Um,
Yeah.
like, they're still there. They're just not, like,
Yeah.
as it could have been. Um,
Yeah.
but I will tell you, my
Uh-huh.
rationale is you only have to pay a percentage of your income, right? Like,
Mhm.
if you get on a payment plan. And so my, like, justification for a lot of them was like, "You know what? I'm gonna pay that percentage no matter what." So,
Yeah.
it's gonna be kinda the same payout because it's gonna be based on my income.
Mhm.
So, I may as well just, like, take the loans I need now and not starve,
Yeah.
then you know what
Yeah.
I
No, for
mean? Like
sure. No, I totally do. Yeah.
yes, you've been there.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, no. Get max it. You know, like, hand it over. Um, it's either this or the
Yeah.
streets. Like, come on.
Yeah, so it's
No,
maybe
it's
I could
fun.
pay rent, buy
Yeah. Yeah.
it.
No, that's so funny. I have a friend that she's first gen, and I see a lot of her in myself. So I try to like tell her all about law school, all the things she's applied to where I went. So hopefully she goes there. Um,
Yeah,
and she was really scared about the loans because it's like as a first gen, you really don't know, and like you're scared of loans because you're told by your family all the time, like stay away from
right.
that. It'll ruin your life. And
Uh-huh.
so I had to
Yeah,
level with her and be like, hey, I get it. It's a lot. However, this career, you're going to make more money than if you didn't do this, depending on what you do. I
right,
mean,
right,
everything's different, but like you're paying to play, if you will. So don't feel
absolutely.
guilty.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, the other
it
thing is, like, even when you make even when you go work for nonprofit or government, like, which are generally lower paying than your average attorney job, I mean, obviously, it depends on where you are and what you do,
Mhm.
like, it's still more than you would make as a non-lawyer, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's still and it's not a bad living. It's like, I think law school kind of, like, creates kind of a weird complex for a lot of people where they're like, "I'm not making over 100,000 when I graduate, that's insane." You're like, "Hold up. Wait a minute. This is a good life. It's a good life, you know? It's
Yeah.
and that's something that a lot of people forget when they think about big law, or they think about, "Oh, I see all these people on Reddit, like, freaking out that they're not gonna get this, like, super high paid, super, insane job." And it's just these moments where it's like, "Hang on, do you actually want to work that?" You
Yeah.
know? Or like, yeah, the money is great, but, like, is that the life you want? Maybe yes, but
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for my 9 to 5, Like, it's
Yeah.
beautiful,
Yeah.
and I get to do something that feels really meaningful, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, I'm totally with you. So tell me about the law school culture. What was it like? Did you make friends immediately? Tell me all about it.
Okay, so part of it was probably my attitude, like, I made my 2 best friends in law school, because it's like so I've made good friends in law school throughout, a lot of them were
Mhm.
just people who were, like, in classes with me, and we chatted, and, um, I'm like a I hesitate to say gunner because I don't like that phrase, and I don't think it's fair,
Yeah.
but maybe that's what like, I didn't even know 'cause I sit in the front row because otherwise I will not pay attention, and I will play around on my computer.
Same.
So,
I'm
like
a front row, or
yep,
I will look at other people's screens. Like,
that's
I'm
yes!
literally like, "What are you looking at?"
So, my first
So, no, I'm
semester
the same.
contract, I sat towards the
Yeah.
back and just watched the person in front of me shop, like, for shoes for hours on end, and
Mhm.
I, 3 days in was like, "I gotta move," and I, told the professor, I was like, "I'm so sorry, I have to change seats," and I didn't tell him why
Yeah.
because that would be
Yeah.
obnoxious. That girl's
Yeah.
looking at you, no, but
She doesn't pay attention.
yeah, no, it's like I was just like, "You know what? Is it okay if I jump in the front row?" And it's like, "Of course, just there's plenty of space there." Just of course, no one or one person sits in the front row. So all of my friends were the people in the front row because it was always,
Yeah.
2 other people. Um, and, we almost ended up having, the same seating arrangement for most of my classes, the first year,
Mhm.
right? Where, I would
Yeah.
sit. Um, and I, didn't even use my computer, in class. So I would, close my
Oh,
computer,
wow.
take all pan notes, and then type them up at the end of the day. Because otherwise I, couldn't I would end up, not paying attention. Um,
Yeah.
and, so I also didn't realize people raised their hands for my whole first semester because of that. I thought that the professor was cold calling everyone but me, 'Cause, like, I was in the front. So everyone behind me is, like, raising their hand to answer questions, and I was like, "Why doesn't I guess he doesn't like."
Why would
I
he
thought he
pick
was just like,
me? Yeah.
"You,
Yeah.
you." So I was like, "Wow, he just never picks me." And then I, like yeah, and then one day someone was like, "Oh, she always raises her hand." I was like, "Wait, what? You can do that?" Like, um, so
I would never raise my hand.
no,
I would be like, "This is awesome.
right.
I hope I don't get called on again."
Yeah, but I, like, low key liked the Socratic method because it forced me to
Mhm.
read everything, you know? It's like
Yeah.
so for people who I don't know, have you talked about the Socratic method on your podcast at all?
I haven't. Can you tell everyone what that is? That's
Okay.
actually great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, you know how in Legally Blonde, the professor calls on her, like, out of nowhere at the very beginning? It's like, "What is"
Mhm.
I don't even remember what the topic is, but,
Mhm.
and she doesn't know. That's, like, an extreme version of the Socratic method,
Uh-huh.
where, like, the professor will what's called cold call you.
Mhm.
And I don't wanna intimidate people because it's actually not as bad as everyone makes it out to be, in my
Mhm.
experience.
Yeah.
But, like, you have your assigned reading, you do your assigned reading, and then in class, the professor will say, "Okay, Abigail, tell me what happened in this case."
Mhm.
And, like, for your first few classes, at least in my experience, it's just the facts. Like, the
Mhm.
before like, until you get more into, like, the law until you start knowing how to read a legal opinion, it's usually just like,
Mhm.
"Oh, this guy stole this thing," and then the
Mhm.
court like it. You know? Like, it's not that bad. Um,
Yeah.
and at least in my school, you could like, some professors would let you go up at the beginning and say, "Hey, I had life happen this weekend. I didn't read. Please don't call on me." And they were fine with
Mhm.
that. Um,
Mhm.
there were other professors who you could just be like, "You know what? Can I pass, please?" And they'd say, "Of course." Like, no
Oh,
one
wow.
actually yeah. In my school, no one ever actually got kicked out.
Mhm.
Like, the blonde, you know how he, like, tells her to leave.
Yeah.
And maybe some schools are different. We
Yeah.
definitely had, especially later on in law school, like, professors who would challenge you on things or push it a
Yeah.
little bit. Um,
Yeah.
Most of the time, like, also, if they saw like, what they didn't want was you to BS stuff. So, like, if you
Yeah.
didn't know, you could pass or just be like, I don't remember," like, "This not a big deal." But if you just, like, make it up or try to look it up on, like, the internet real fast, like, that's there are probably some people who can do it. I've never seen it done well. Uh, uh,
That's hilarious.
yeah. But I liked it because, like, I said my fair share of dumb things in those classes, and at the same time, it's like it forced me to read,
Mhm.
everything for classes, or almost everything, some classes better than others, um,
Yeah.
and, like, it kinda got me over some of my, like, anxiety about stuff like that because like,
Mhm.
everybody said something dumb at some point, and, like,
Yeah.
I didn't remember what they said the next day. All I remembered was the dumb thing I said, you know? And so it was
Yeah.
kinda yeah, yeah. So I don't know. The Socratic method's a weird one. I'm pretty sure it's unique to law school.
What you mentioned about the front row and, like, meeting your friends and stuff, I did wanna touch on that a little bit because I am and I feel like we have, like, the same energy of this, and so I'm curious if this is the same for you. But when I
Mhm,
first went to law school, there was and Abby's gonna laugh when she hears it. So my best friend's name is Abigail as well, so it's so funny.
mhm,
I love this. So, we went to, like, an attorney's home because it was the week and I don't know if y'all did this too, but it's the week before school starts, you do orientation, and
mhm.
some attorneys host you in their home. So you come over and you meet them and you eat there. And there was an attorney and she was talking about how, like, in law school, you're going to meet like her very best friends, blah, blah, blah. And I look over and Abby and I lock eyes and I'm like, this is
Oh,
us. Like, this means
oh.
we both know it's us. She uh, later tell her this story. She had no idea. That was not her same experience. I was like, we just
Funny.
shared a deep, meaningful connection. And she's
No,
like,
you're
I
like,
don't
"This is
remember.
cosmic," and she's like, "Why is this girl looking at me?" Like
Yeah. And so it was so hilarious because I feel like and my friends will say this too. I'm like, I kind of like pick and like I get a vibe and I'm like, you feel like you give me the energy that we should be best friends. And so that's kind of like what happened with all my friendships there. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Abby was definitely one of them and it was so funny because I thought she had that same wavelength, same energy.
That's
No. She
so
had
funny. That is so fun.
Is that kind of like how did you meet your friends in law school or how did you make your friends in law school?
Yeah, so one of them and she's just, like And I like almost hesitate to say a better the person than me in every respect, but she is. Just like I love this woman. I
Yeah.
have two best friends in law school from law school. So my like one of my first friends in law school, or I guess first friends from my new cohort when I did my like second semester.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
she was sitting right next to me in the front or like close to me, and I don't remember. I like made some joke about something someone said. I don't remember exactly how it went down, but we were talking after, and she was like, "Oh, I love how like comfortable you are just answering things," and I was like, "Oh, I probably should care more what people think of me. Like, I'm working on it." And she just thought that was very funny, and she was like, "I wanna be
Yeah.
your friend." And apparently, she went home and talked to her now husband, but then boyfriend, and was like, "I this girl, she doesn't care about what anyone thinks. Like, it's so great." And he was like, "You need to be friends with her." And she kind of like you, she was like, she decided we were gonna be friends, and she
Yeah.
made it happen, and I was just like, "I'm so much better for it." Like, yeah, and she ended up like I kinda knew another friend, front row friend, through
Mhm.
her, we became quite close, and we're all doing dinner tonight, and yeah.
Oh, how
Wow.
fun. I love that. That's gonna be so fun. We did,
Yeah.
like, a girls' weekend, and Abby bought, for her first home, we were like, "Oh my god," like, "This is
Yeah.
huge." And, she kicked her husband out for the weekend, and it was girls' weekend, and it was
Nice.
sleepover and all of it. So I was like, I just
Aw.
love it. I love it. I love friends and I love love. So, like
No, it's the best thing ever. Like, just
yeah.
people you meet and the community you make is I mean, I really think it's, like, such a core part of being a happy person, you know?
Yeah.
It's yeah.
And you mentioned the front row friends, like, I told, so we're literally crazy, like, I didn't realize this until later, but we
Yeah.
were like, "We must sit together in every class," and then there's a show, I can't remember the name of that show right now, but they in that show, they made a pact that they would always take one class together, so they would always be together, and so we made that pact
Yeah.
too. We were like, "Okay,
I love
it
it.
it was rough when I took health law, that was not a fun part of the pact, but but we did it, and we were
Yeah.
together. But part of it, I was like, "We have to sit together, but I have to sit in the front, or I will look at your computer, and I won't pay attention."
Yeah.
Like, I I know myself. Um, so we would literally come because for any of the listeners, at least this happened for Arkansas. Day 2, that's your seat for life in that class.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah, like, you do whoa. You do not get to move. So, what
Nope.
we would do, we would have 1 friend or 2 go an hour and a half to 2 hours early and sit down and put your stuff out and have a
Yep.
backpack seat to ensure the best seat. And it was
Yep.
very dramatic. It was very, very dramatic. But we were, and I remember one time someone tried to take one of the backpack seats, and we were in the group chat like, I cannot believe this. You know, like, yeah, not
They're
that
trying to destroy
serious.
our friendship, like
Yeah, like why are you can't just join. No, I'm kidding. But
terrible.
it was so funny. And
Yeah.
so, like, definitely pick a good seat because I would see people pick, like, middle seats, and I'm like, oh. And then when they had to get up, it was, like, the worst experience
I was
ever.
gonna say, what if you go to the bathroom? Yeah.
No, I was very strategic, and then I remember I talk about Abby so much, and there's 5 of us, but we were, like, from day 1, and so I remember one
Right.
time this girl needed to scoot back, and we were in the front row, and she was in this seat with, like, a rod that so she couldn't really scoot up very much, and the girl is just a problem, and so she was like, "Thank you for actually scooting up, Stephanie," and then gave her the nastiest look ever.
Oh, no.
And I remember, like, I just can't take things seriously. Like, I was just like, "That is so
Mhm.
funny." It's so dramatic.
Um, my worst one, and everyone tells this story because I don't rem I missed some of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had to go through
Some
the
of it.
row, and it was there was, like, there was a really tight seats, right? In, like, this kind
Mhm.
of first row. This is early on. I sit in the middle, front row, and then I have to scooch past a whole bunch of people. I don't realize that some girl left, like, a sandwich, by her seat, and I, like, stepped on the sandwich and didn't even realize. But my best
No.
best friends from law school looks over, sees the girl pick up her sandwich, and just looks so sad. And I didn't know until because I was like, "There's, like, crap all over the floor." There's people's back. I was just like, "I'm just trying to get as best I can through this
Yeah.
maze of humans." Um, and yeah, I, like, ruined someone's lunch because I had to pee at an opportune moment. Like
Was it like an exposed sandwich or was it like wrapped in cheese?
I genuinely don't know because I got this from my best friend later. She was like, "Dude, you stepped on someone's lunch." And I was like, I can't apologize for that. That's so embarrassing. I'm just never gonna look at her again."
That is so hilarious
Yeah, I like
because
a piece of this, like, maybe don't put your sandwich on the ground. But at the same time,
that is
like,
a wild place to store
maybe
a sandwich.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
No, that's crazy, but that's hilarious. Like, I would be
yeah.
crying. I'd be like, "Not my sandwich."
No, I know, I probably just poor girl looked so sad. Like, it was like
Mhm.
yeah.
No, and
Meanwhile,
I
I'm
get,
just
like,
happy.
bringing food to school, though, because I ate a lot during class. Like, apparently that's not a normal thing, but it's 2 hours and 40 minutes long. Like, let me have a snack.
Yeah. The one that
So
killed me was not being able to have you guys could have snacks at the bar, right? Like
no, we could only have mints, unwrapped mints, and 1 water. So I'm very
yeah.
bitter.
We were allowed 1 water, but no mints, no cough drops, no nothing. Um, yeah,
What?
and, like, every exam I took, I would bring, like, an industrial size bag of Gushers or, like, something else 'cause it's just like, if I have to sit here and write for hours on end, I'm bringing candy.
Yeah.
My teeth suffered so much post law school like, in law school, I'd never had a cavity. I'd had, like, 1 cavity in college, and after law
Mhm.
school, my dentist was like, "What happened to you?"
He hurt you.
Yeah, exactly. Have you just been brushing your teeth with sugar? And it's like, kinda." Um,
Yeah. Depends
yeah.
on the day.
God, I needed, like, a root canal. She's like, "This is not." Yeah. It's like law
Oh,
school, that's not
no.
yeah. Um,
No. So you would
yeah.
eat Gushers during, like, exams and class and
Oh,
stuff, or
yeah, because it was just, like, every time I'd get frustrated with something, I'd be like, "Piece of candy," and, like, I'd get through some disgusting amount of candy over the course of, like, a
Yeah.
2-hour period. And so not being able to have that on the bar, it's, like, a lame thing, but, like, one of my professors was like, "Abby, you should request an accommodation to have, like, gum or snacks." And I was just like,
Yeah.
I don't
I
think they'll
I
go
tried.
for it." You tried? Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't go for
No?
it. They let
Yeah.
me in the NPRE, though.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
and passed that one.
Yay, so
So,
there's your yeah, that's it. It
yeah.
was snacks. Yeah.
No, literally. No, because my friends would get so annoyed, like, they wouldn't sit near me on test days because
No.
I didn't know this, but I would bring yogurt or fruit, and they were like, "I just can't stand hearing you slurp while I'm trying to test
No.
and wanna vomit." And I was like, "Well, I don't wanna be hungry." So,
Yeah, I can't stand my stomach sounds, so
yeah. So I totally get that with the Gushers, that's so funny.
Mhm.
Love that. Did you, so, do you feel like the people were kind and then, like, professors too? How was that too?
Yeah. Okay, so my school is kind of funny because, like, the professors were generally nice, like, kind,
Mhm.
accessible, but a lot of it and I don't know if this is every law school, was, like, it was what you make of it, you know?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
if you didn't go to office hours, you didn't go to office hours, but, like, if you did, they were so there for you, you know? Not
Yeah.
that they wouldn't be if you didn't, but, like, it's a decent number of people, and I, like, tried to pick classes that I thought would be small, um,
Mhm.
tried to do seminars and, like, little, like, almost performance-based as opposed to, like, test-based or essay-based as
Mhm.
opposed to test-based, because like, that's just where I felt more comfortable,
Same,
and those
yeah.
often, like, professors will get to know you better, right? Because, like, they're reading your
Mhm.
writing, or they're, like, hearing you talk and move seeing you move, and so that was really nice, and then my school has this really cool, I say my school, it's still my school even though I graduated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kent has this, like, amazing suite, they call it, like, the dean's suite or student resource center,
Ooh. Yeah.
where like, a whole bunch of deans, and then they, like, have couches and snacks and, like, a Keurig for anyone who wants coffee, um, and then, like, they'll have, like, someone who can kinda, like so she's in charge of, like, Like, we had one woman who was in charge of, like, bar success, and then
Mhm.
another dean who are, like, I don't know, professor, adjunct professor,
Mhm.
who would do, like, skills. And these are people who just, like, had their doors open 4 days a week generally, and so while they were doing other things, she would sit with you and
Mhm.
be like, "Okay, here's a calendar. Let's do priority. Let's organize how long each thing's gonna take you." Like, it was, like,
Mhm.
things that maybe you feel like should be skills you come into school with, but,
Yeah.
like, if you can kind of get over the, like, discomfort of needing to ask, like,
Mhm.
it's I don't know, like, you have someone there
Yeah.
who's a really great resource, or, like, when I was freaking out about bar stuff or character and
Mhm.
fitness or things, like, I had no real reason to freak out about character and fitness, but
Yeah.
a bunch of things, like, I was getting so nervous about it, and, like, I had another person who I literally have her phone number and could text and be like, "I'm scared of this, what do I do?" And
Yeah.
these are people the school employed specifically to support you, and,
Yeah.
like, it was just the coolest thing because I never once felt like I was like, okay, I felt like I was drowning plenty of times, but I never
Yeah.
once I, like, realized that these resources existed and that I could take advantage of them, like, I always felt like there was someone to throw a life's preserver if I needed
Mhm.
it. And it was someone who, like, I could trust to be confidential if I needed, and who I could
Mhm.
trust to, like, reel me in a way that was practical but kind.
Yeah.
Um and, like, my parents are gonna throw a graduation party, and I'm inviting all of them. I have no idea if any of them will show up. They're like
That is so cool. I love it.
there's a huge, like, chance that they're gonna be like, "Girl, that was a professional friendship, like, I don't know what the heck, like, we're not going."
That
But I actually like, 2 of them have already been like, "Yeah, I'm coming." Like, you know?
is so
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. That makes me so happy. What advice would you give someone currently studying for the bar exam?
Okay. I think build a community in whatever way you can. And I wanna, like, highly, highly recommend Stephanie's, lives and everything she does. And I don't say that because 'cause I'm on her podcast your podcast. I literally say that because it made a huge difference for me. Um, that really. And I also think breathing and, like, taking care of yourself,
Mhm.
and being careful about things like Reddit, in that
Yeah.
Reddit's great in some ways, but it also can kind of create this, like, very easily creates, like, I'm not doing enough feeling, or
Mhm.
everything is hopeless feeling, and, like, there are moments of light in the darkness there. Again,
Mhm.
like goat bar prep, things like that have, like, encouraging stuff on them on Reddit even, but, like, also there'll be it just some of those spaces are really messy, like,
Yeah.
and you see people post about scores that they didn't get. You see like, there's just that's BS, or you see
Mhm.
like, people telling you they're studying for 12 hours a day, and maybe they are, maybe they aren't. And if that doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you, and that's okay. You know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I also think just like be okay with pivoting if something's not working for you. Like if you
Yeah.
feel like something, everybody's gonna learn differently. And
Mhm.
what works for some people isn't necessarily gonna work for others, and that's okay. And you don't need
Mhm.
to like no one size fits all model. Um
Yeah.
Also that like while it feels like the end of the world sometimes. It's not, like,
Mhm.
what was it? The 37% passage in Arkansas? Like,
Mhm.
that like, sometimes stuff happens, and, like, kinda my
Mhm.
attitude, it it's okay, like, do
Yeah.
as you
Yeah.
can, and then you're still gonna make a great attorney no matter what, so just try
Mhm.
like, don't c try not to let yourself feel like everything is riding on this because it's not, nobody's
Yeah.
gonna love you any less if you didn't pass. Nobody's
Mhm.
gonna think any less of you, and anyone that does isn't worth your time, you know?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like so, like, coming into the study process or being in it, like, when things get overwhelming to be able to remind yourself of that, it's like,
Mhm.
"You know what? Like, no, I'm still me no matter how I do, so let me just do my best, and if it doesn't work out, it's okay, it's going to."
Yeah.
But, like, that's
No,
kinda
it
what
did.
they told me ahead of time. It's like, you know, lean on your
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And remember that, like, in the course of a lifetime, this is a teeny tiny moment, and it feels
Yeah.
so huge in that moment, and then it's not, you know?
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So,
I love it.
that's
I
not
think
to
people need to
minimize
hear
those
that.
feelings. I don't wanna, like, make anyone's
Yeah.
feelings your feelings are still
Yeah.
valid. It's just that
Yeah.
sometimes it's so easily overblown because
Yeah.
I'm a big feelings person. Like, I don't feel like,
Mhm.
"Oh, sad." I feel my whole soul is sad, you know,
Yeah.
or you know, or a little
Yeah.
happy. Like, I get it, right? And at the same
Yeah.
time, like, when that becomes anxiety, it's like that's it's a
Mhm.
lot, you know, and
Yeah.
law school trains us to be more anxious. There's, like, some
Yeah.
s yeah,
Mhm.
that's how yeah, there's a
Mhm.
study that, like, the normal I wish I knew the numbers, but it's, like, something like
Uh-huh.
the percentage of law students or students entering law school with anxiety matches the general population, and then, like, people leaving law school, it's something like some absurd percentage more. Like like, those 3 to 4 years alone
Mhm.
will cultivate in many ways, and it makes sense why, right? Because lawyers are trained to
Mhm.
look for problems. They're trained to
Mhm.
anticipate the worst possible scenario and plan for it.
Mhm.
You're trained to tell people bad news all the time, potentially, you know?
Mhm.
Like, you're trained to never have a solid answer. This, like, whole
Yeah.
"it depends" thing, right? Like, you're
Yeah.
like, and in your professional life, that's important, that's critical, but in your
Yeah.
personal life, it's horrible, right? You have to
Yeah.
find a way to separate that, and studying for the bar exam, like, at least for me, brought it out so bad. Like
Yeah.
everything was like there were times when I would, like, look at a question and just, like, stop being able to see it, because I was
Yeah.
so overwhelmed by just how much it felt like I needed to know and how little I knew. Um,
Mhm.
and, like, that's normal, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know if that's helpful for anybody, but it's what I wish I'd
Yeah.
more of, you know?
Uh,
The other one, it's kinda funny, but, like, the weekend before the bar, my grandfather called me,
mm.
and he like, English is not his first language, but he, like, tells me, he goes, like, among other things, he says, like, "Fuerza, fuerza, fuerza," like, "Stay," it's essentially, like, "Stay strong."
Yeah.
And he's, like,
Yeah.
very excited, and, he doesn't really know how the bar exam works, but he's giving me, like, he's, like, kind of pull me forward. 'Kay,
Yeah.
after the first MPT took me way too long, Steph, and I don't wanna talk about what's on them,
Same.
obviously, we can't, but I
Same.
was in panic. Oh, no, and then in panic, I, like, smash out the second one, and then I had a similar thing, so we're going through the MEEs, and I'm already kind of, like, terrified from the beginning.
Mhm.
And MEE after MEE, it's not the topics I want. It's not the topics I want. I
Yeah.
flip I'm on the second to last one. I accidentally flip to the last page, see a couple of words that indicate it's not an essay I want. And I just had this moment of like, like this is I don't know. Like my whole body was just like about to freeze, and I just hear my grandpa's voice in the background, like fuerza, fuerza, and I was like, yes, yes, we got this. Like, yeah.
Yes.
So I know, and I called
That's
him
so
after.
beautiful.
Your voice, like, yeah, yeah.
What did he say?
He
Oh,
was like moved to tears. It was really cute. He like, yeah.
that is so sweet. I love that. Oh.
So, like, my people carried me through in ways that, like, I had never expected, you know?
Thank you so much for
Oh,
meeting
of
with me
course.
today, sharing everything. So proud of you. So proud.
Oh, Steph, I wanna say I'm proud of you too. I know it
Yeah.
probably feels I don't know how it feels because you're you and you're your own person, but I think that you should be so proud on so many levels. Um, just literally, I cannot tell you enough times that I admire you, and I think you're amazing.
Oh,
And you have a
I think you're
resilience.
amazing.
No, you have a resilience and a strength and, like, just a light that is such a privilege to be around.
Mm.
And
You're
just
so sweet.
no, I wouldn't if I didn't mean it. I really
Yeah.
genuinely didn't think it was true. It would not come out of my mouth. I'd be like, "Thanks. I'm pretty glad you're proud of me." Like,
Bye.
yeah. No, but actually, I really mean it. I'm so grateful for, like,
Yeah.
the support you gave me and everybody else studying, and just, like, the kindness and honestly, like, the substance of us studying together. It was
Yeah.
soul-filling for me, so thank you.
Yeah.
And
And thank
yeah.
you for coming back each time and then just enjoying it because it was fun. It made
Oh,
it so much better. It was a hard time, but like
yeah.
I wouldn't change it, you know?
Oh, I
So
love that. Yeah.
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 Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I
Oh,
think this is going to be so helpful. I do normally do the ending like after that I thank you. It really means a lot. And this was so fun. I feel
Listen,
like we immediately connected. I loved it.
yes, likewise. It was like I was like, I didn't think it would be awkward because I like was like, I've talked
Yeah.
to her before. But like I'm glad it
Yeah.
was. It's like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining and giving us all this advice, and congrats on passing the bar. So proud of you. Can't wait to see what you do, and would love to have you back on the podcast after you've
Oh,
been an attorney for a while. Give us a scoop.
all right, let's do it. Steph, this was so wonderful. Thank you again. I'll talk to you
Yeah.
soon.
Yes, for
Right.
sure. For sure.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye.
That is it for today's episode. Again, I'm Stephanie Ponzanelli, and this is Legally Ponzanelli. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Be sure to check out the links in our show notes where you can find our sponsor, Belmonte, this month's guest gift provider, Las Comadres Mail Club, and our Kaplan Bar Prep discount code, Pass with Pons, to save an additional $100 off your bar prep course. You'll also find links to all of our social media platforms. We'd love for you to follow along and be part of our community. And because your girl is currently studying for the bar exam, you'll also find my Amazon wish list in the show notes. If you'd like to support me with a little study session surprise, that's exactly where you can find it. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions for future guests, email me at legallyponzanelli@gmail.com. And if you're a law graduate who wants to share your story and journey to becoming an attorney, I would absolutely love to hear from you. Thank you again for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode of Legally Ponzanelli.